This forecast is a quick snapshot of the current state of your union. It reflects where you are, where your partner is, and this Two of Cups serves as the significator. So you are represented by Fool and privacy. Now, you could be making decisions about your privacy. There may be something that you want to keep private. Maybe you're protecting your children, or that you're dating someone new. Maybe you want to keep it private that you're dating someone younger. Maybe you've made the decision to spend time with your partner, close out the world and spend some time alone together. Or maybe you're introducing yourself to someone behind the scenes, or getting to know someone behind the scenes. This may be someone who is private, difficult to access, or difficult to know. So you could be closing something out, making some decisions, and a lot happening, to keep prying eyes out of affairs. Now, your partner is represented by the Six of Cups and children. So for some of you, this may be someone from your past, someone who is younger, someone who makes you feel young, or you make them feel young. This could be, somebody who is very playful, very, they help you remember the exuberance of, romance. So there could be a connection that is from the past. Maybe this is a karmic connection, another life in the past, and there may have been some form of goodwill you had toward one another, maybe a kind gesture, compliments, gifts, good deeds that are now coming back to roost. Maybe there was an avenue in a relationship that you thought was closed off and that's now opening again, or a second chance at reconnecting based on some nostalgia. In some cases, maybe you've made the decision to be private because you are hearing from someone that you really didn't expect to, and perhaps you don't want to. So it all depends. In one situation, you want to be private so that you can reconnect and enjoy this person and get to know them again. In other situations, you're closing off. Maybe you feel like this person is childish or immature, or, it could be something that, from a memory that you'd rather forget. The romance is characterized by Virgo. And so you may have strong Virgo, or they may have strong Virgo in their chart. But the relationship is taking on the characteristics of Virgo. Now, perhaps you were connected to someone in a work setting. Maybe this was a coworker, a client, a colleague. Maybe you did some work for them, or vice versa. You offered a service, or they offered a service. Maybe you met them while you were working out. Maybe there's a mutual interest between you about healthy living, clean living, environment, working out, eating, something of that sort. It could be a relationship that is very much so characterized by a sense of duty, a sense of obligation. And sometimes it can be rather, maybe even robotic, where actions are taken based on rote. The thing that one is supposed to do, not necessarily done with heart, but it's the right thing to do. So, this may not always feel very romantic. In fact, this relationship is very practical oriented. And one of you may serve as a mentor, a guide, an advisor. It's also a relationship that can be laced with criticism, especially if one of you is not living up to the standards of the other. There can be some perfectionist tendencies where perhaps the other person pushes the partner to do better, to be better, or to fulfill some kind of idealistic expectation that may be difficult to attain. Now, you have Five of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles representing the partnership. That is a huge dichotomy, very different energies. On the one hand, there's a sense of lack, of poverty, not having enough, could be spiritual bankruptcy, could be health issues. And on the other hand, you have living a life of leisure, having plenty of money, pursuing your own interests, doing what you want. So there could be this perception, this sense of not having enough that is driving you or your partner to continue to push for more, or workaholic tendencies, or there's always the fear that there won't be enough, although there is plenty. Or it could be that, one of you is rejecting retiring, or maybe you're rejecting a particular piece of property because it doesn't offer enough privacy for you, or it's not the right environment for your children. For others of you, maybe you feel abandoned or rejected. Maybe there's some disparity between you as far as economic status. Maybe one of you, often suffers and goes without, while the other one is living in, a lot of comfort or luxury. For some of you, maybe there's some health challenges. There could be some gossip, some rumors. Maybe there's some false accusations or accusations of being a mistress. You may reject a relationship where the expectation is for you to be the other person, the third wheel, the mistress or the third party. Or you may be rejected or even put out because that was a situation that occurred. Maybe even a child came out of that relationship. For some of you, maybe you're rejecting being alone. You want to partner up with someone, or you're rejecting partnering because you'd rather be alone. So, there are multiple stories here where you're making some decisions that you perhaps don't want others to know about. It definitely connects to someone from your past. And, there's either maybe upward mobility here, some kind of gain that likely came through perseverance, continuing to put forth effort. Maybe this was where you were once rejected by someone, or you felt that you would be, because the person was out of your league, you felt, or this was your ideal person. They were attractive, cultured, intelligent, but also difficult to get to. And so maybe there were circumstances that always left you feeling like you were on the outs. You never could obtain that ideal partner. Or maybe this is just a figment in your imagination. You have this standard that is so high of what you want, of what the person has to be or look like or do, and you always find yourself left out in the cold because that standard is much too high in the real world. For some of you, this is about being self-sufficient. You're rejecting partnership because you're focused on creating a situation where you can relax, retire, or have enough money, live where you want to, do what you want to. In other cases, maybe you're working together from the ground up. You're saving every penny for the end goal, something that you very much desire. But this is also a situation where you have to be careful that there's not a sense of false security. There could be some activity that is a threat to your reputation. Maybe there's some material loss, some damage to property. So you're reconciling two differences. Maybe you come from two different backgrounds. Could be that you're with somebody who, never had a whole lot, and one of you comes from a lifestyle of complete luxury. The underlying energy is this Two of Swords and divine time. So there is a reconciling of differences. Again, the perception of lack versus having a sense of gratitude for the reality of abundance. It could be making a decision. You're at odds with someone and you've made the decision to stay private, to keep them out. It could be you're making peace with another person. Could be you're sitting on the fence, you're waiting for the tide to change, you're waiting for the perfect time to connect to someone that you've admired for quite a while. Or maybe you don't know how to move forward. Maybe you're lacking information, or you're refusing to see a truth, or you're suppressing your real emotions about something. It may be that you need to call a truce with someone from the past in order to work a situation out. You don't necessarily agree, but you're making an uneasy peace. You're definitely dealing with some kind of dilemma here, but timing is important. Something about divine intervention, the perfect timing, the time to act is at play. And perhaps the universe is unfolding a situation despite you wanting it to move quicker. It's going to happen in a time that's meant to occur that assures you of peak experience.